It's already on.
Oh shit! They captured all my horrible talk to you. We can't let people know how I treat you. That's unacceptable. We gotta erase all of that.
Maybe you just treat me better, you son of a bitch.
No. That's not gonna change. We just have to.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to T3G. My name is Dalibor. This
Harris. I'm gonna say it.
Hey,
I'm not gonna be that other guy.
This is the Tangents Podcast.
The
Pretty
Tangents
self-explanatory
podcast. If you don't know what tangents means, I guess Google it.
Yeah.
Google's a thing. So
Yeah.
Google what
Google.com,
tangents means and you'll know.
Or Bing, or whatever search you do.
Whatever search engine you use.
But yeah, we talk about a few things and then we get into some other things.
Hey, you remember the days where there wasn't search engines?
No. I have always had search engines in my computer experience. When I started on computers, though, there was like 7.
I'm trying to remember.
Alta Vista. Remember Alta Vista?
MSN was one of the first ones.
MSN was like the early days of Bing. You had Ask Jeeves, which eventually became Ask.com.
Oh, that's
which
right.
actually might still be around.
It is. Ask.com is still around.
Google obviously was around. Google was one of the originals.
But Google wasn't around in the, I'm talking about like the 90s, dial-up. I'm talking about.
First of
talking
all, sir, dial-up still existed well into the 2000s.
I know. I'm talking about 1995 when I got my first computer.
Oh, I never had a computer at that point.
Oh yeah, dude. I don't remember. I'll tell you this. I sure as hell don't remember.
Google started in 96, 97.
Did it? Oh man, I remember, man.
Yeah.
It's been so long. I was just thinking about that the other day. I'm like, how do we navigate the internet without these?
Well, there were keywords before that.
Right, there were keywords.
AOL, that was the search engine.
Right. That was the
keyword search.
That's right. The
keyword Marvel brought you to the Marvel website.
That's right. Yeah, that was good stuff.
That's when they had cyber comics. Good days, man. Good days.
It's good stuff. Back it's simpler times. Simpler times
with shittier movies.
That's true. That's so true.
Well, let's start with. I want to start with kind of the light one, the changing character motivations for movies, right? Specifically, the most recent kind of big example we have is the Skrulls. In comics, the Skrulls were the bad guys,
right?
Like without question, always the bad guys. There was a couple situations where like you had a small group.
I was
going to
say, I think you mentioned X-Men. I don't know if it was X-Men. Okay.
Yeah, it was X-Men. Xavier took like mutant.
I thought you said it was like the Ultimates or something.
They were like the mutant
right.
Skrulls.
Right.
So like they were outcasts. So that's why they were the good guys. But otherwise, like they were all bad guys. Like there was many examples of them just like having mass plans on invading Earth and taking over.
Which
everything.
I mean, to be fair, that could be what we saw in Captain Marvel.
Quite possible. We might have only seen a small fringe group.
We could have seen just a small group of the good guys.
But it's an interesting approach. It's an interesting direction to come from with that. I don't know. It was kind of a weird. It was a weird thing to. It was a weird thing to see. Just kind of not quite as extreme as like the Man of Steel example, where I'm sitting there in the last scene and I'm like, "What's the Superman way out of this? What's the Superman way out of this?"
And there wasn't.
And then he snaps his neck, and I was just like, and like conscientiously, I know that had to be done.
Right.
The modern audience would not have accepted anything else.
Right.
But like, you changed it, and it sucked for him. Like he had that moment. Like he did not like that he had to do that.
No, not at all. He hated it.
But at the same time, like I don't know, it was definitely like a different approach. And like, what exactly? Like, what do you think? Like the impact of this is? Are we seeing more of a darker?
No.
Presentation of characters, a different presentation of characters.
It's different presentation because you can't have the endings you have in comics.
Right.
Because you're trying to base a world within our world. So like to bring the comics on the big screen, it'd be cheesy. So how do you change cheesy? Well, you introduce them in our world. Now the problem with that is there's real consequences in our world. Superman, for example, in Man of Steel, he just became Superman. He didn't have the Phantom Zone. He didn't have a prison that could hold Zod. A decision had to be made. Either Zod, which he tells him while he's holding him in a chokehold, He says, there's no prison that will hold me.
Right.
I will destroy this world. There's two options.
What's he gonna do?
He saves every human being in the world, or he kills the final person that's alive that's from his planet.
Right.
Like, and that's a Superman decision. That's like he chose billions and over one final person from his world.
Right.
So like you have to not be as cheesy as it would be in the comics where Superman is just like, yes, I know what to do. Like, it's not gonna happen. I mean, we've seen it. We've seen it with if you go back to Superman Returns.
Right.
It was cheesy movie.
Right. And
it
I mean,
was,
nobody
nobody liked that.
And that was also meant to be
cared
like,
for that.
like that was meant to be like
A continuation,
Superman 3,
right?
yeah,
It was a continuation from the
so
original.
it was kind of like it was written in like 80s sensibilities and 80s mentality, but like
it didn't fly. It didn't fly. Nobody liked that movie.
It was entirely too cheap.
Was it a good film? It was a good film. Like, it had its moments where it's like it had great acting,
interesting storytelling,
yeah,
things like that.
It had,
but it just wasn't a good Superman movie.
But it wasn't. No, not at all. Not even the least bit. So that's why when you had to make these, like for instance,
what's going on, Elliot?
Like for instance, if you talk about Batman and Batman v Superman, where they're like Batman killed some people. Yes, because it's him or them. Like in the real world, Batman can't just knock out every single human being that he fights. They're bad guys. Either they gotta go to save, to be that, to be the thing that people don't want you to be, but to protect the people that maybe would judge you on that.
Right.
So like, you have to make the films good, to make them make sense in a modern world, to not be cheesy. You have to change some things, and that's why. 100%. And that's why we have to, even for myself, like I always had a problem. My biggest problem always is like changing ethnicities for the sake of changing ethnicities, but not actually creating new characters.
Tokenism.
Yeah, and that's shitty, and I'll always stand by that. I think to me, like, that's stupid. Like, create a better character. Like, don't just change because you're sake of changing. To
and it's not even creating another character.
No, I'm not talking about right. I'm not talking about. Yeah, they have characters exactly. They don't even have to create them. They've
like there was all that talk about Michael B. Jordan playing Superman. And I'm glad that he said I would play Superman
if it was.
But this specific, I forget the name, but it was one of the other alternate Earth Supermans,
the Black Superman,
right? Who was basically Obama Superman, which is awesome.
Exactly.
Like President Superman. Yeah, I'm in for that story. 100%. Let's fucking do it. Let's do it 100%.
Let's do it.
But like him playing Clark Kent, like he's not interested in it.
No,
there's no point to it.
Exactly.
There are at least 3 solid, like, established examples of Black Superman.
100%, yeah.
Use those.
100%.
Then that's not even counting, like, the icon from Milestone. That's not even counting all the other characters.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, just people who are Superman. There's at least 3 that are well established.
Right.
Use those. Like, they're, and especially now that we're doing this kind of, like, alternate reality, we're just, like, telling stories for the sake of telling stories. 100%.
Yeah, well, I mean,
dude, the next Superman movie should be a Black Superman.
I mean, you're doing, DC's doing this thing where, like, they have their main universe with Wonder Woman and Batman and stuff, but then they're now also doing these other stories that are not within that movie verse.
Right.
And, like, the new Joker. The new Joker, it has nothing to do with the universe they've already built. It's just a Joker movie. Just a dark showing of a different telling of Joker.
Yeah.
So that's...
It looks good.
Yeah, it looks badass. So, yeah, they absolutely have the opportunity. But basically what I'm trying to say is, like, we as fans, right? So you have your moviegoers that are not comic book fans. They're just movie fans. They like movies, and they're just your modern goers. And they like what they see. We as comic book fans have to remember, like, this is not going to be one for one because this is not the same, because it's not the same universe.
It can't be.
You have to look at it as a different universe. This isn't 616. This is, whatever else you want to call it. So
it's a long number.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, exactly. So like you just have to you have to just remember this is a different universe. So if you're not happy with something, it's because it's not the same universe.
Right. And even when you look at things that were as close as you can get to one-to-one translations. So you look at Watchmen. Watchmen was basically 1-to-1.
Yeah, I mean they changed.
Except they changed the
ending,
ending.
right.
It doesn't make sense in the original plot. It's different. Like it's a whole different approach. But I don't know that the original ending would have worked.
Right.
And at the same time, you look at something like, I know not a lot of people like to talk about it, but it was a favorite movie of mine, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
I love that movie.
The Nautilus from the comic is a giant octopus.
Right.
Like it has arms and it like grabs people.
Yeah.
That doesn't look good on screen.
No, not at all.
But like that line where he's like, "Behold, Nautilus, sword of the sea," and this giant like super straight edge kind of thing pops out, and I'm like, dope.
Right.
I was in.
Yeah, no, you have to. It has to make sense for the screen. I mean, look at a perfect example, a moviegoer who also supposedly is a comic book fan. You look at John Campea, and he had a problem with Assassin's Creed because he couldn't fall behind on something taking away free will, a sphere essentially taking away free will, an apple. But as a comic book fan, he should have been able to accept that, but for some reason,
because that's what it's always. It's always something. It's always this thing. It's always a MacGuffin, like.
Because you're talking about a gauntlet that could take away everything, like not just free will, everything.
And I'm glad that they established that. We'll get into that a little bit more. But I'm glad they established that in the movie. Yeah, I think it's.
No, you have
changing characters for the sake of changing them is one thing,
right?
But there is such a thing as good change where you have to modify things for the screen,
it makes sense
for the different audience.
Exactly, because we've seen. I mean, let's be serious. Even you look at the '90s Batmans, they're fun, but they're not good movies. Like
no, they're not.
Just cheesy. They're cheesy.
Even the first two with arguably the best director of the bunch.
Right.
Like, you know,
once again,
they don't really stand
movies.
up.
They're good
they don't
movies.
really stand
not
up.
at all. You watch them now, and you're like, yeah, this is a good movie. I got nostalgia for it because I watched it when I was young. But
there's
like
elements of them that are kind of timeless.
Right.
Like Have You Ever Danced with the Devil by the Pale Moonlight?
Yeah.
That's
but
the Joker from that movie is incredible.
You view them as a film, as an actual movie, and you look at how they're like done. It just wouldn't stand up to something today.
Right.
It wouldn't. I mean, I'm not saying for the '90s it was great.
Right.
But you have to get over the nostalgia and actually look at it for what it is and be like that
like real talk. Real talk. No matter what you tell your friends, Steel was not a good movie.
we had fun watching it.
It was a fun movie, but it wasn't good. It was not good by any stretch.
Not at all.
So let's move to Heckboy.
Heckboy. That little old town that's so religious they didn't want to say hell.
Hellboy. So
can I say my biggest peeve, because you've mentioned it a few times, like there's people talking about Hellboy and it's like, oh, it's a gore fest. The title is Hellboy. Well, anything short of hell stuff. I don't know what you think hell represents, but I expect a lot of gore. I'm talking about the most heinous bullshit you've ever fucking seen, like hell. Like,
yeah.
I don't know what you think hell is. It ain't Lucifer from fucking The Show where he's all cheap, he's all happy going.
Even then, the hell there is dark.
Yeah,
it's
so
dark.
Like to see hell rise up and destroy everything. Yeah.
And even then, like, so I mean, I could see where people are coming from with the whole with the bloodletting at the beginning where they kill her.
But still,
I get it. But at the same time, like,
still,
it's like high magic, high crazy magic shit. Like, I don't see what the problem is.
No.
Not in reality.
No, not at all.
I think it was a good movie.
I think we were right. I said, or at least you asked me what I think it would fall under, and I think I was right. This is the okay to good category here.
This is the
bottom
of the acceptable range of comic book.
Because we had the fuck four stick
and four stick,
and that was the bad to almost okay. There was some redeeming qualities, but overall
there was that opening sequence was really good, but then it really kind of tumbled out of control.
Yeah.
But it had potential.
Right.
Whereas something like A Blood Rain had no potential.
Right, exactly.
It had no potential.
Blood Rain, we know,
and it got a sequel.
Yeah, I think it had two other sequels.
Jesus Christ.
So, Blood Rain is the bottom of the barrel. Holy shit, this is bad. I'm losing brain cells.
I can't watch it.
No,
I can't watch it.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
not. So, If you know Blood Rain's that bad, and you know Fantastic Four or the Four Stick is the bad to okay, then you now have how to range.
Four Stick
when you
is something,
say something is bad, you got to remember what actually bad is.
The 2015, 2017, whatever it was.
Something like that. It was 2015, 2016, something.
Yeah, so the most recent Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah.
Is the one that I will tell you, do not see it.
No,
it is not worth the watch.
No, not at all. No, it's a waste of your time.
It is academically, you could find some entertaining things in it. Like I said, the opening sequence with the kids, really good, really well done. Weirdly, especially with what happens later.
Right.
This Hellboy, I think, is definitely something I could be like, watch it.
Yeah, watch it.
Don't watch it with your mom.
No, don't watch it
with your girlfriend if she's squeamish.
Yeah, don't watch it with your kids.
Or boyfriend if he's squeamish.
Don't watch it with your young kids if you don't like, them seeing gore and
but like,
maybe there were cuss words, but I don't know. I'm one of those people.
Yeah, there were some cuss words,
whatever. But no, I thought it was. I mean, listen, it was fun. I don't think the acting was bad. There was a few, like when he fights the giants, I didn't care for the camera work there, and you could tell a little bit of the CG in that moment.
Yeah, and that's really the only time.
Yeah, and that's the only time. Like, otherwise, visually, good movie. Like, the ending, very visual, very good. Hellboy looks great. Like, I had no problems.
Yeah.
The guy they picked, I mean, in all honesty...
He looks nothing like him.
No, he doesn't look anything like him.
They, really worked on his face.
Yeah. He looks nothing like Perlman, but...
No, I just mean, like, in general, like, he doesn't look like the actor.
Oh, like no, 100%. I couldn't even. When you look at the,
because every time I looked at his photo before, I was like, I know what this dude looks like.
That
can't be him.
Yeah, exactly. If you made this a sequel to the other two, let's say this wasn't the story, you went with whatever the sequel story would have been, and Perlman couldn't do it, and you put this guy in there, I, honest to God, would have had a tough time saying that wasn't the same Hellboy.
I mean,
like, don't get me wrong. I know
differently,
Perlman, right? I know Perlman, but like,
for me, it would have been very acceptable.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, way more acceptable than the fucking War Machine switch, right?
Exactly.
That's a way different looking
Terrence
dude.
Howard doesn't look like fucking.
Not even close. If
Don
they had
Cheadle.
picked like Michael Ealy, he's kind of close.
Right. But like,
John Cheadle's like a way different looking dude.
No. Yeah, I mean that's two different people, man. So like that kind of switch. So yeah, absolutely, this would have been an acceptable switch. But for its own movie, it's a shame we won't get a sequel because I think there was good potential for a sequel. I mean, obviously they teased the sequel there, and it's just a shame. It's a shame it didn't make its money. It's a shame.
What was the tease? I forgot.
Well, it was one.
Sapien, Ape Sapien.
Sapien, yeah.
Because it said something Icto-Sapien.
Yeah.
Which is primate fish.
Right.
Or something.
Something like that, yeah. So, so I was excited, but, it is what it is. I mean, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was fun. I didn't think the acting was bad. I thought the acting was actually overall good. I think the writing wasn't good. Not necessarily that it was bad. Like, there was just some things that I'm like, they tried. It didn't hit as good. Like, a lot of the one-liners didn't hit that well.
Yeah, they were kind of relying on those.
But, like, I loved, it's Mila, right? That's her first name?
Mila Jovovich.
Yeah, she did a great job. She always does a good job. Anytime she acts a role, I think she does a good job. I'm not saying she's an actor, but, like, she clearly can do an action figure, like an action person, where she's kicking zombie ass. But then at the same time, like clearly, if she wants to be evil, she can do it. And then you go back to Fifth Element. Like if you want a corny, like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing type of deal, she can clearly. So she has range. Not saying that she's an actor, but like she clearly for her skill set, she has range, and she did a good job.
She does a good job. I think what her main weakness was the script. I think some of the lines they had her saying were kind of eh.
Yeah.
But like overall,
but you can only do so much. I mean, once again, a great actor or an actor could have switched that up. They could have put in their own thing with the script. So that's why she is a good actor, where she can do like she can make you believe that she's in that role, but she might not necessarily be good enough where she can change up the script that she was given type of deal to make.
If it was Halle Berry, it'd be a whole different universe.
Right. So overall, like, what they had to work with, I thought it was a good movie. I would give it a solid 7 to me. I'm okay with a 7 on that.
Yeah. I would agree.
Easily okay with a 7 on that.
7 for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I gave Captain Marvel like 8.
Oh yeah, I'd give Captain Marvel. I'd say 8, 8.5, no
Yeah.
problem. Yeah.
I'm trying to think what it was. I rated something else recently as well. Forget what it was, but yeah, no, that was real solid. We also, that was the other thing we didn't talk about, that we had watched, and this will be just like a completely random add-on to this. We also watched Into the Spider-Verse.
We did, and that was a good flick. They did a good job on that. I was really, really happy with that. I'm interested to see if, I feel like they said there will be more.
I hope so.
But I could be wrong. But
I mean, Sony's gonna milk the Spider-Man pot.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And I mean, listen, I love Miles' story. I love. It was hard to watch Peter die, because that's man, like, you know, Peter Parker, man. That's who you've grown up to know, Spider-Man, right? Even if Miles is great, but I am super interested to see them continue off with. To me, the only thing is that anime style, that animated style that they use, is, I'm not 100% of a fan of it.
My only drawback from it was Kingpin was enormous.
Dude, he was bigger than doorways.
He was bigger than the car. He got out of an SUV, and I was like, "How you gonna be in that? You look the size of that."
Yeah, like you weren't in there.
You didn't come out of that. You might have turned into that.
Yeah, you turned into that. Yeah, exactly.
You might have
transformer
like,
right here. Like,
no, that was really the only thing. Like, the art style was not my favorite.
No.
But I think it still worked, and for a lot of it worked great.
Yeah.
Like, for the actual Spider-Man-ness,
yeah, 100%.
The movement of Spider-Man, great.
I'd give it a, for an animated series, I give that a solid 8.
Yeah.
100%. Like, the biggest drawback for me was that animation style.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd give that a solid.
Yeah, because the script was good. John Mulaney as freaking Spider-Ham was outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding, dude.
It was great.
I love that. My thing is, we were talking about if somehow we get to a point where, because, I mean, not if they're going to bring all the stuff together
100%.
and Marvel.
100%.
I would love for a Secret Wars type of thing to happen where they bring all the universes together, and then afterwards, everyone's just together.
I know.
And then you could cast a live action Miles Morales. It could be great.
Yeah,
it could be great.
It could be great. And speaking of that, let's go into Avengers.
Woo, boy!
Assemble!
Dude,
Listen. I want to give. I don't know how many people will see this, hear this, watch this, whatever. But I want to give a big shout out and thank you to. And spoilers, obviously, if you don't know, we talk about a lot of detailed stuff. But I want to give a big thanks to everybody involved in this universe. I want a big thanks to the actors who brought these characters on the screen for us, who did a great job acting the actors, being the characters, acting the characters. Like, they were the characters that we knew. Even if it wasn't scene for scene from the comics, they were still those characters. And, dude, big ups to Robert Downey Jr. Great exit from the universe. I absolutely loved how they did that in the movies for him, and also even for Chris Evans, man. They nailed it. Yeah, they did.
It was a great out.
It makes sense.
It was a great out. It makes sense. It wasn't weird. Sharon Carter was her great niece.
Yes.
So it wasn't weird.
It wasn't weird that he made out with her great niece.
His great niece.
His great. I don't know. Whatever.
By marriage.
Listen. Yeah. Now there is. I'm glad we were right. Well, not necessarily you were right. I agreed with you. You said you think they're going to put Banner in. I said for sure they are. It just makes sense. But Banner and Hulk as one entity.
Yeah, we just thought that they were...
That was on fucking point. The fact that whole scene in the diner, he's like, remember the dad? Where's dad? And I'm like, come on, dude. This is fucking hilarious.
You guys want a picture with me? I'm Ant-Man.
He's like, no, they said, yeah. They said,
no, they want a picture. No. They don't want a picture.
Take the goddamn phone. Take the goddamn phone. No, that was great. That was, Thor getting fat, getting out of shape from all the beer.
I'm surprised they ran with that the whole way.
They ran with that the whole way.
I was expecting, that once he, got his mojo back, that he would, power up and then, get svelte again. Because, he's got the Odin force.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just work off the fat with the Odin Force.
I
like,
know, right?
Where are the benefits to being All Father?
I know, right? So
The shit.
So I mean, I loved it. I loved it. Everything about. Listen, I told you already. We talked about this already, pretty good. But I like Infinity.
I just realized something.
I liked Infinity War better only because I'm a very big person of fast pace and a lot of action. So
See, I think this was still. I thought this was still fast paced.
No, it was.
But the action was all on the tail.
Right, yeah,
All on the
exactly.
tail
So
end.
like it wasn't a lot of action. So to me, Infinity War was better just to do to that aspect what I enjoy. But this is, I mean, right up there with Infinity War. This is tied. I mean, you have to. There's just so much to explain that there's no way you could have just went into straight action. It would have been dumb.
Yeah.
You have to explain everything, how they're going to accomplish this.
How are you going to open the movie?
Oh man, dude.
It's like, oh, here's Clint showing his daughter how to shoot at bow.
Bro, it hurt.
He turns around, they're gone, and I was like,
It hurt.
why? Why would you just open with this, you sons of bitches?
That didn't hurt me more because I knew that was going to happen. I knew they were going to get him back. That was it. What got me? Where I actually, as a human being, had to hold back the tears was when Tony's sitting there after he snapped the gloves. Everybody's Spider-Man's fucking talking to him, trying to
like, we won.
Yeah, we won. Yeah.
And I was like,
and then Pepper, dude, she's like, you can rest now.
She said, we're gonna be okay.
We're gonna be okay,
You can
dude.
rest now.
Oh man, that one. Whoo, that
Dude,
was.
it was just like,
dude, that was.
What up, Uncle Peter?
That was man. Whoo, that hit the feels. And then John Favreau's character at the end is like, what do you want? She's like, a burger. He's like, dude, he had that moment like where he was gonna tear up. He's like, your dad loves burgers, and then he's like, I'm gonna get you all the burgers. I was like, damn, dude, that was good. I mean, listen, the whole everything was just on point. Like the exits were perfect. I didn't expect. I mean, here's the thing. I expected as soon as they said they were going to go get the Soul Stone, I was like, oh well, fuck. I wonder which one's going. But before that, never thought that that's how. I mean, plus we had rumors that, and I mean, I don't know if they're still 100% true because I just watched when they were on, not on Fallon, Kimmel. Mm-hmm. They were on Kimmel, and he asked her, he said, but aren't you having a, he's like, so are you excited for the Black Widow movie? And she's like, what? And like she's not confirming it. She's not confirming, so whatever we've heard might not be 100% true. So yeah, but to see her character, I mean, it makes sense, right? She made the ultimate sacrifice to be able to get a stone, and that's huge, and so to see these characters exit, huge. I mean, we had a big debate how they were going to... Listen, the biggest one that I think a lot of people are going to bitch about was that Cap decided not to be selfish, not come back, because Cap doesn't do that. And to me, it's like...
No. I think whoever says that Cap wouldn't do that is full of shit. You saw in his eyes when he's having those meetings, and he's like, you guys got to move on. And he's like, yeah,
for sure.
And like, you can see that in his head,
saying.
he's not moving on.
And that's what I'm saying. For the movieverse, it makes sense. No, for the movieverse, it makes sense. I'm talking about people, that always are stuck with the comics, that don't want to get over that bullshit. Like, to me, it's like, this makes sense. His best friend, even though they had disagreements and they even fought each other, just died, and he used to tell him, you need to get a life.
Yeah. And
he just fought probably, literally, in his mind, I mean, who is he to believe that somebody maybe like Galactus will be showing up, right? So
right.
in his
At
mind,
this point, he's beaten the worst thing.
The worst thing that could possibly come to mankind. And for him to choose not to come back when returning the stones makes sense.
Right.
It just made sense. Like, I mean, even before...
You are joking.
Oh, man. Oh, you got it. What are you doing over here with the...
joking right now.
What are you doing, bro?
What
are you doing? Turn it off!
Come on, Ness. Help me out.
Come on! God damn it.
Ruined it.
But for him, before Bucky said it, as soon as I was like, Cap's going back, I'm like, oh, Cap's not coming back.
Yeah, and that's why when Bucky did...
Yeah, so when Bucky said it, I'm like, oh, yeah, no, dude, like, you don't even have to say it, Bucky. You just give him a nice, good old hug, give him a peck on the cheek. Say, I love you, bro. I love you. I will never forget you. Like, bro. Like as
That was
soon
such
as
a
soon
good
as,
moment.
Yeah, great moment. And then we got our answer. Who I love that title we saw. Is Captain America gonna be in the movies?
Yes.
Yes. In matter of fact, Captain America
100%.
is gonna be in the movies. Did you mean is Steve Rogers gonna be in the movies? That's a different question. No, Steve Rogers will not be in the movies.
And I think that's where a lot of these stupid arguments
No,
come into
yeah,
play.
it's stupid. Oh, that's not Captain America. Sure is. That looks like Captain America to me.
Yep.
Oh, that's not Steve Rogers.
Yep.
That's a different debate.
Flag on his chest, big shield.
Exactly.
Yep, that's the guy.
Exactly. It's and I'm super happy that Falcon got it, even though they could have easily, obviously given it to Sebastian Stan. I'm glad Falcon got it. I'm glad that Anthony Mackie wants to continue to be in this universe and do more movies. So I'm super stoked to see him play Cap. Yeah, no, they nailed it. They nailed it. Everything was perfect. Everything was... Here's the thing. We've talked about it. Can they bring back Cap? Of course they have. They have a time machine. They could literally just go back where he decided not to come back and bring his ass back. And we're like, hey, we need you. But they're not going to do that because Chris Evans is done. He wanted an exit. This was an exit. Same thing with Robert Downey Jr. Could they bring Robert Downey Jr. back? Sure they can. You've said it. They can literally bring him back as an entity in a computer system. But they're not gonna. Why? Because he doesn't want to be back. He's been doing this since 2008.
10 years?
Like, there's no point. There's no point for him to come
10
back.
years,
He's
man.
done. He was done. He was done 2 movies ago. So the fact that he's been here this long,
yeah, he's not coming back.
No.
I think they could make him like the AI if he wanted
they
to.
could if he wanted to, but
But it's not necessary.
No, not at all.
Maybe like a party message for like. Again, I think you could very easily do the whole intro to Riri the same way we got it in the comics.
Yeah, of course.
Like while Rhodey's out trying to be the new Iron Man.
Right.
Which by the way, also Rhodey could totally just be Iron Man.
He could, 100%.
Easy money there.
Yeah.
I loved Rescue. Oh my god, when she showed up, I was like, beautiful.
It was great.
Beautiful.
It was great.
While he's out there, like Friday's like, hey, by the way, there's a girl from MIT flying around Chicago in a homemade armor, and then like Stark knew about her. He sent her a message and like, if you want her to have like one little more cameo, easy.
Exactly.
But like,
no,
there's no need to bring them back. You have this incredible lineup left. Like, you have great characters. You still have a Captain America. You still have Winter Soldier. Could be part of S.H.I.E.L.D. He could be,
100%.
special ops, whatever.
Absolutely. I like the black arm he had on. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that was the Wakanda arm.
I don't remember it being black though.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was black with the like kind of silver.
I loved it. No, yeah, I mean, listen, they don't want to be back. They exited because they've been wanting to be gone. It's not that they hate the universe. Don't get me wrong, dude. They all they got Avengers tattoos, like legit Avengers tattoos on their bodies. They got. So like, it's not that they didn't love the universe. Is that as a human being who does an art, you want to grow. And the only way to grow is to get out of the same thing you've been doing and do something different, something new.
The same way nobody likes to get typecast.
No,
nobody likes to get typecast.
100%.
I mean, that's why Vin Diesel did like a dramatic.
He
role.
tried. Yeah, he definitely tried.
He didn't necessarily do a great job, but
Right.
like he did. He wanted to try something different.
Yeah, and then
realized
he
he's
came back.
really good at action. And
And then he came back and started
Stuck with
doing
that.
action. Although, to be honest, like he did a very good dramatic aspect to his action role in Babylon AD or whatever it was, or Babylon or whatever it was called.
Yeah, Babylon AD.
Yeah,
It's been a while. Yeah.
Like he did a good, because that was like a dramatic character in this sci-fi universe where there was action. So like, but he did a good job there. So like he can always get that.
I mean, you also have Riddick. Like,
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, no, they nailed it. I loved it. I think we both agree that there was a missed opportunity here. I know we talked about this. They've just acquired Fox. We get it. But
they had just acquired Spider-Man, and
I'm saying you CG'd Spider-Man in.
A guy who walks on walls.
Yeah.
Noted in Ant-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Not even Captain
exactly. So to me, you could have easily at the end of the fucking movie just tossed in eyes open, and you see it's Galactus, right? Because in the movie, Rocket points out, hey, when Thanos snapped his fingers, this giant energy wave that's never before seen ever came from Earth. That same wave came from this planet 21 days later.
And then at the end...
And then at the end, Tony, again from the same fucking planet Earth.
Twice.
Because Hulk, too. So, like, Thanos would have easily picked up on that energy. So it's like, oh, motherfucker. Or, I'm sorry, Galactus. Oh, time to go fucking devour a planet.
He's like, you know what that sounds like? The lunch bell.
Lunch bell, right? And then, boom, easily. And at the same time, you could have easily also added a voice clip. Not even shown somebody say it, but like just in the background, somebody, when they said, who has a bigger brain than Tony Stark? Well, they were like, oh my, could Richards, like, they could have just thrown that in. They could have just thrown that fucking, somebody say that in the background while they're thinking. And then they went to Banner.
I mean...
Like, you could have, there was such a missed opportunity.
But again, that then creates a situation where, like, these people have been around. Why haven't we seen them before?
But it doesn't matter. Because everybody, that doesn't mean everybody's always involved. Dude, they could have been off planet.
Just stuck in the negative zone or
Because
something?
we know X-Men's going to be part of this universe. Let's be serious. You tell me Marvel's got fucking their hands on the X-Men now and they're not going to be a part of this universe? So what's the X-Men excuse? Where the fuck they been? We could have sure fucking used Wolverine, motherfucker who doesn't die, to start killing some bitches.
That's why I think they're going to do a Secret Wars thing where...
They bring him in?
Yeah, they're gonna act, like explicitly say that this was a different universe.
Well, sure. I mean, you.
But also, I was just thinking. So there, I saw a title of an article before I went to see the movie, and it was where did Loki go with the Space Stone? And I realized, regardless of the fact that they brought back the Space Stone to the camp, to the base, the 2012 timeline is different on that timeline because he disappeared.
That's another thing.
My thought, that's where the show comes from.
That's another thing. We watched a video and somebody who clearly is confused about how this movie worked because they explained it all in the movie. But they were like, oh, well, Thanos came into this timeline, so now the timeline's changed. Thanos never originally snapped his fingers. Wrong. Thanos did still snap his fingers. That Thanos that came from the other timeline changed that other timeline. He didn't change this timeline. That other timeline has changed.
In all reality, we're dealing with a total of 3 remaining times. No.
Yeah, you're right, 3. I would say it's 3.
I guess 3 because...
No, it's more.
Because Steve technically didn't change...
It's more because everybody was at a different timeline.
Right, but only 3 were changed. We have our primary timeline.
Correct.
We have the timeline where Thanos left in 2013. Right. So everything after
4 were changed.
No.
Loki leaving with the thing.
That is the 3rd one.
But that's not the same one that Thanos came from.
I know. And so we have our primary one.
Right.
We have the one where Thanos leaves in 2013.
Right.
Which
2014.
2014. Which then is the events of Guardians going forward is completely different.
Right.
Because Thanos just doesn't exist. Right. And then the universe where Loki leaves.
Steve Rogers stays.
But that's our universe. That's the universe we're in.
Oh, that's true.
He just went back and filled a role that already existed.
Right.
Remember, she had a family. She had 2 kids. That happened.
Right.
When he met her at when she was dying and with Alzheimer's, which makes sense, like why she didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah, that is our
so
universe.
3. We ended up from our primary timeline. We ended up with 3 alternate timelines.
Yeah, 3 alternate timelines.
Also, interesting enough that very interesting to me that the Ancient One knew that Doctor Strange was going to come to her.
Right.
That was it. That was just like interesting. Like I'm looking for Doctor Strange. She's like, "You're about 3 years too soon." And I was like,
"I loved it."
You knew? You just knew?
Yeah.
She's like just
the Grandmaster, man. Hell yes. Hell yes. No, they.
What up, Cracker? Truth or dare? Truth.
Truth. Easier.
We're in the middle of the podcast, so we can't really do any dares.
No dares to be able to that. No, they nailed it, man. It's just such a good fucking movie, man. I loved everything about it.
Super good.
They explained everything. Oh, and I'm glad that everybody was wrong. Captain Marvel wasn't the savior.
So I watched.
Listen, sure, you can argue she was the savior in the sense that she destroyed the ship that was shooting on them, but she still wasn't the savior. She didn't.
I watched a video. There was apparently rumors that they had filmed multiple versions of the movie. Some with more of her, some with less of her, depending on how Captain Marvel went out.
Right.
Because if Captain Marvel didn't do well, they might have cut her back a bit. To me, none of that shit matters.
None of it mattered because, one, Captain Marvel made $1 billion, so it did
But they
well.
filmed this before Captain Marvel was filmed.
I understand that, but they still, if you're telling me there's another version where there was more of her and they still didn't use that version because they were going to decide on how well it did?
That's where I'm kind of thinking is none of that matters to me because it all made sense. Like the question that was posited in that video is that how come we only saw her a little bit at the beginning and a little bit at the end? Well, the 5-year jump, she clearly left.
Yeah, she left.
Ended up getting a haircut. Like things are different. She's been doing shit.
By the way, real quick, can we give ourselves a high five because we were right how Tony Stark comes back to Earth? She literally finds his ass in space.
Well, so
I mean, clearly
So the scene at the end of Captain Marvel happens. They're like, yo, we've got guys missing. They went to Titan.
Can you go
Somehow,
check?
how do we know that they went to Titan? Rocket's the only one that would have known about.
That's true. So that's probably how.
So that's our best bet.
Yeah,
so Rocket says they might have gone to Titan. She goes towards that way.
She finds
it.
Yep.
So pretty straightforward. I like that they just kicked off with that.
Yeah.
I was okay with that. Perfectly fine. I didn't need like extended
100%.
conversations about it.
100%.
Dig the whole the whole thing where she there's the 5-year jump. She clearly left. They're doing the whole checking in thing. She's out there in the universe, not just like the galaxy. She's out there in the universe, helping people all over. So she's been gone.
Right.
Also,
I do love the fact that she was like, so where have you been? It's like, there's more planets out there than just Earth, and they didn't have you.
Yeah, and unfortunately, none of them had you.
Yeah.
But what I thought was interesting was that
which you could do with Green Lantern. Same fucking concept.
Yep, 100%.
Just say. Why isn't he on Earth? Because there's a lot of other planets he's got to take care of.
Hundreds of thousands, millions. There's the whole thing where in this video they were like, well, like how come she wasn't in that much of the movie? She just shows up at the end. I'm like, she shows up at the end because after the 5-year jump and we see the check-in,
right,
the story moves pretty quickly.
Right.
Like Scott shows up, they create the time machine. That's within days.
Yeah.
Weeks at most.
Weeks.
Let's give it 2-3 weeks.
Weeks, yeah.
3 weeks. They go back in time. A 30, 45-minute section of the movie happens in different timelines.
Right.
So, in 5 seconds.
Right. Right.
And then the rest of the movie, and then she shows up
100%.
when Thanos attacks. Which makes sense.
Makes sense.
Like...
Yeah, no.
She gets a notice or something. She gets pinged. The fucking base got destroyed. So she was like, oh shit, the base got destroyed.
Also,
let me travel through space.
Also, everybody came back, which means easily Fury said, hey, I'm back.
There's that. There's just a number of ways where she was contacted. But like, can we talk about that moment where Cap's like, I'm gonna fight you till the end, you
and
motherfucker.
And then everybody shows up.
And it's just like, hey, Cap, on your left. And he's like, what?
Yeah.
Black Panther.
So good, dude.
And then all of them open, and I was just like, yes!
So good, dude. So
yes!
good, dude. Because he's ready to die.
He was ready to die.
He's ready to die. Can we talk about Captain America wielding the hammer, ladies and gentlemen?
By the way, how do you feel about that? Hail Hydra.
Yeah, that was genius.
Which, by the way,
then throws it into like, here's a little nudge.
But they played it out because then he fights himself.
Yeah,
because that's how that story ends in the comic.
Exactly.
I was like, man, that was dope. That was dope.
That is America's ass.
He's like, that is America's
that
ass.
Is
just walks away. I was like,
you just check yourself out, bro.
When the fucking cavalry shows up and he's like, Avengers assemble, and I was like, yes,
so good.
I was so in that, dude. I was
so good, man.
God,
dude, I got
so
goosebumps on that. I got legit.
Dude, I was legit weeping. Like he called him, and I was like, And the fucking Black Panther shows up, and I was just like, tears. Just fucking tears, dude. I was beautiful. It's fucking beautiful.
No, I got goosebumps, dude. As soon as everybody showed up, and then he says it like they're all the Avengers, dude. I was like, so fucking.
Saw M'Baku fighting.
Dude, can we talk about Captain America's fucking badassery fighting as soon as he gets the hammer? Yeah. He takes on Thanos for a minute or so.
Just throwing lightning.
Oh my god, that was great.
Like, throws it off the shield. I was like, dude, what?
So good. So good, man.
Oh my god, it was incredible.
It was so
fucking incredible.
I love it, man. I love it. I'm literally going to see it again tomorrow. I'm excited to watch it again. I'm so excited to go watch it again. Ah, man. I mean, seriously, once again, thank you to everybody involved. Kevin Feige, everybody, Disney, for making this happen, man. Because that was a great end to, 13 years. I mean, if you're talking about 2008, like 11 years?
11 years.
11 years. So you got 11 years of amazing content.
Bro.
Don't get me wrong. Sure, I might not a huge fan of Ant-Man and sure, but still
But they're fun movies.
Yeah, you still can watch them. They're not bad. It's just I didn't necessarily enjoy them like I did all the other ones.
Right.
Same thing with like Civil War can be argued. To me, wasn't a great movie, but I still had fun watching it. I just had my issues with it. But
do you guys think it'll break $2 billion? Of course it'll break $2 billion.
It'll easily. I mean,
it's already at 1.2.
Yeah, it was on Saturday. It was at almost 650 million. No doubt, it's breaking $2 billion.
It's over 1.2 billion.
And the first movie made like 2.7. So like they're easily gonna make 2.7 because everybody who paid 2.7 has to see the finish of that movie. So
yeah.
Like. Unless you're weird and you don't want to see the end.
It set records. It set nasty records. It's like 100 mil on top of the domestic open.
Yeah.
It's a $1.2 billion weekend opening, which I think Infinity War had like 600 million. Like double.
They just nailed it, man. Big shout out to everybody.
I mean, but this is what happens when you carefully curate a universe.
100%.
When you carefully plot
100%.
out, like, this is what we're going to be
100%.
doing. Kind of in opposition to everything DC's been doing. As much as I enjoy the DC movies.
I enjoy the DC movies. I love DC movies. Don't get me wrong. I'm not even going to sit here and lie.
But it's like there's just a lack of cohesiveness.
I can find issues with DC movies, but I still love them. I enjoy the shit out of the movies that have been released outside of, let's be real, the only good thing in Suicide Squad was Harley Quinn. So like, that's
hey, they're still going forward with Birds of Prey. I just saw. Like,
I'm glad she's still in it because she nailed Harley Quinn. So don't get rid of her. But if you're redoing the Suicide Squad,
it'd be
interesting. Fine.
If they use that to introduce Batgirl and then do a Batgirl movie. I'm
fine with that too. But no, I mean, it's 100% a perfect example of multiple things. One, somebody like Kevin Feige who sat there and wanted to create this universe, right? Who was really fucking invested in wanting to make this amazing. Just this huge connection between all these characters. Then on top of that, you have the actors who decided to, hey, fuck yeah, I'm going to be here for 3 fucking movies minimum. 3 movies, I'm going to be here. Oh, you need me to be here for 2 or 3 more movies? Fine. Let's just talk about some money stuff, but we'll finish it off.
Right.
Like, this is a perfect example of not only the people that are on the screen, but also people behind the screen coming together and wanting to create something amazing. And I truly, truly hope DC is able to fucking figure this out, because I don't care if you're making let's say, the Batman with a different actor to show off a prequel or even a different Batman.
Right.
Whatever. But your main universe with these actors like Jason Momoa and Gal Gadot, who are bringing out these Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, if you can figure out how to save Ben Affleck and keep him in that universe. Like, you don't have to do all the movies with Ben Affleck. Like I said, you can do different
Listen,
movies
just
for different things.
do a Batman Beyond where Ben Affleck is the old crotchety
guy. Right. But if you can figure out, like, stop sitting here and trying to fuck shit up. Like, you got good actors, figure it out. Sit down and talk to them.
You can't do Batman Beyond in this universe.
You can't.
Because he uses guns, and that's the whole reason he's retired.
And same thing with Same thing with the whole issue now with Flash. Like, we don't know if that actor's going to stay because there's issues like, I want to make a different script. Sit down and figure it out. You guys are human beings. Stop being stubborn. Fucking talk about it. Create something great. Create something people are going to love, enjoy, something you're also proud of. Like, he wants, I guess, a darker movie. They want to make a more fun movie.
Right.
Sit down, meet in the fucking middle. Make both. Make something that shows the darkness and also the comedy. You can do it. It's not hard.
It's the Flash, dude. It's not a hard thing to ascribe anything on the spectrum.
Like
Flash goes through some shit, but he's also
right.
fun.
Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this is a great thing to take in, but in this aspect, it is. Look at the Flash and the CW. It has its dark moments and it has its light moments. If a TV show is able to fucking accomplish that in 1 hour, there's no way you can't accomplish it in 2 or more hours.
Right.
Stop being fucking stupid. Get together. Stop being against each other as creators. Instead, sit down and figure out how you can work together.
I think what they needed to do right out the gate, is have someone in charge of everything, and they didn't.
They didn't.
Because when Iron Man 1 came out, Kevin Feige was on board.
Yeah, 100%.
He took the reins of that universe.
Yeah.
They needed someone to be that. They hired Jeff Johns, but then he left or quit or something. And Jeff Johns is a good writer. He was somewhat in charge of the line when the New 52 happened. Like, there's possibilities. Like, they have creators who have roots in DC, but they just don't rely on them.
Man.
And let's and even then, like, fine, don't rely on somebody from within the universe. Hire somebody who has helmed or piloted or whatever a bunch of properties. Like, Kurtzman. Like, he runs all the CW shit.
Right.
Just have him do it.
Whatever. I mean, whatever you need to do, whatever you need to do, just get it together. Sit down, get it together. Because literally, if Marvel, listen, DC's not far, like, it's not like they're done. It's not like they're gone. They have a great universe that they've started. Just fucking sit down, figure out, talk to each other like human beings, and get this figured out. Stop fucking being stupid about it. But I hope they can take into consideration, look, here's what Marvel did. Here's what they've done in the last 11 years. Look at the ending they provided to the characters they built in 11 years. How can we get to that? Can we figure out to get to that point where we're all working together? We all want to be part of this universe. And so sit down, talk to each other. You have fucking 365 days in a fucking year. Take a week out and sit down and have conversations with each other to figure it out. Like, stop being stupid.
Yeah.
So, but no, big props. Going back to Marvel, big props to everybody involved. I'm super happy that Disney/Marvel was able to, not necessarily have. I don't know, how much all the higher ups, the CEOs had into this versus, how much Kevin Feige. But clearly there was never issues where people were involved that shouldn't have been involved, where there was like always these stories you hear like, the studio wanted something.
Like with the Fantastic
the
Four, where they literally
something.
locked him out of the editing bay for the last couple days. Like,
I'm super happy to see that was able to be done to create this amazing universe. They fucking did it, and I'm super excited to see what comes after.
It was incredible.
It
was incredible.
Just have me connect. Just don't ruin it for me. Have me connect with these new characters, or like, for instance, Falcon, great character, but let's be serious. I'm not as connected to him as I was with Steve Rogers yet. Have me connect with him. Make him a great character.
Right.
Make him, now that he's Captain America, make him connect with us.
I want a better execution of Sam Wilson as Captain America
100%.
on screen than it was in comics.
Yes. Make us
I'm sorry,
want to be...
It was not done well in comics.
Make us want to be part of that. Make us want to be like, root him on just like we did Steve Rogers. Like that moment during that battle when he fucking sat there, you knew he led the team. You knew everybody was behind him. I want that for Sam. I want Falcon to be that. I want the same thing for inspiration like that. So I hope they can able to do that, accomplish that. I can't see that they wouldn't be able to. I mean, they've done it so far. Do it. Just don't be dumb. Like, clearly, even the Russo brothers, they said Civil War was a rush. Civil War was a response to how great of a response Batman v Superman was getting. So like we went Civil War, where me and you both agree, even though I don't know pretty much about Serpent Society, we both agreed that probably would have been the better choice to just go with when they first announced it.
Right.
So, just don't rush shit and make us connect with these characters like we did with all the other ones, and we have another great fucking 11 years of movies.
I would love to see Captain America and Nomad. Like, I would like to see him, like Bucky as Nomad.
Yeah. No.
I think it plays well. I think you could have, he's not the Winter Soldier. He's not the the scary Winter Soldier.
Right.
I think that would be a good movie. I think you gotta bring Cap back. Ironically, you gotta bring him back to Earth. You gotta bring him down to like practicality, because Sam's not gonna be able like to just out the gate like he's leading the charge against something enormous.
Right.
Sam has to build his own way.
And Sam doesn't also have the capabilities of Cap, right? Cap had these enhanced capabilities from a serum. So you have to have us align with somebody that's not able to do that.
Yep.
So you have to provide that. So you have to have us connect to that in a different fashion.
I would want to see, what my hope is, that joke title that they had for Civil War, Serpent Society, that'd be a great way to kick off Sam Wilson as Captain America, man. Because they're like low-key racists, like they were kind of like the analog for the Klan. There's a lot there that you can play with,
right,
and still not be like overly in your face about 100%. Because like we talk about this a lot with Supergirl and a lot of other things.
Right.
Don't shove it in my face.
No, yeah.
Because I feel like that. Because that's where the comic went. When Sam Wilson was Captain America in the comics, every issue was about him making a statement and and I'm just like, this is too much.
Yeah.
I get that there's gonna be. It was literally like there's always gonna be people that are not gonna like it.
Right.
Just like when what's his face got elected president, they're like, not my president.
Right.
That's what happened in the comic. They were like, not my Captain America.
I get it.
But then the problem was that's all you saw.
Right.
It was like all of America overnight was just like, that's not Captain America.
Right.
And that's not what would happen.
No, not at all. That would be dumb. No, you're 100% right. Don't do what, Supergirl is a perfect example. For the last, year or two, they've done nothing but just shove in your face like how something is wrong. We get it. We know what's wrong.
Yeah.
You don't have to fucking baby us. We're not babies. We want to watch Captain America be a badass.
Right.
We want Sam to be Cap.
Yep.
So make him badass.
I want him
don't
to
sit
run
here
an
and
Avengers
utilize
mission,
right. Don't sit here and utilize his background and his ethnicity to try to fucking say something dumb to highlight a dumb thing. Like, no, just make him a great Cap. Make him be what Steve Rogers was.
Right.
If you can do that, you're gonna have you're gonna have another great 11 years.
Yeah.
Because then in 11 years, or whatever, how many years, when he's standing there on the battleground and they're fucking coming behind him, it's gonna be a good moment.
Right. And that's exactly, you have to build that up. That has to mean something.
Yeah.
You have to earn it.
Yeah.
You have to earn that moment, and you can't if you just start going into all this dumb shit.
Exactly.
I think if you have him go off and say, hey, I need to go face these whatever, like have him go like investigate something and it turns out to be whatever, the Serpent Society or whoever.
Right.
Not, I want to maybe like open the movie with him leading an Avengers mission, something basic.
Yeah.
It goes fine. Then we go on and he goes back to base and he's like, hey, I've gotten some reports about this. I'm going to go check this out.
Right.
I don't need the whole team, blah, 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 and that's what we get a movie.
Here's my question. Are they going to bring back Vision?
Yeah. He's going to be on the show with Scarlet Witch.
Oh, that's right, he is.
So my thought there is that she will try to bring him back. Because she saw how much power she has.
Right.
I thought that was a great moment with her like exercising her abilities at the end there. But I think she's gonna either her or, like we said before, where Shuri was already working on copying his data.
Right.
She copied most of him,
yeah.
except the emotions.
Yes.
Because Paul Bettany's already in.
Okay.
Like, Paul Bettany and her are both going to be on the show. So,
but see, now that they're going to the show, are they not going to be in the movies? Because that would be dumb.
according to Feige, they are intricate, like they are integrally involved, and things that happen in the shows will affect movies and vice versa.
Good.
So it's my thing. My thing is you could have this be, if they're just gonna do them two, and it's the story of like her trying to like bring his humanity back or something. It'll be something simple. I think it'd be interesting because you also have the hey, Avengers alarm goes off.
Right.
Now they're in a movie.
Right.
When they come back, now you have to deal with what happened in that.
Yeah.
And it's more of a direct thing because it's like in Agents of Shield, it was like it was the shrapnel, right?
Right.
It wasn't the explosion. We were dealing with the shrapnel.
Right.
With a main character, like if Scarlet Witch has to go and like loses an arm, God forbid, she's got to come back with one arm less.
Yeah,
like so you got to deal with that whole thing. What I'm more interested though is in the Loki thing. So he took his timeline now.
Yeah.
Because that's got to be it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise he's dead.
Right.
Because he didn't die due to the snap.
Right.
He died.
Yeah.
My thought is he leaves. This is 2012. This is before they kind of like buddied up.
Right.
Because he's got the Space Stone, he theoretically could travel between dimensions. So he comes back to our Earth at some point, somehow.
Right.
And he's actually still
That would
evil.
be great.
So he's trying to like do some machinations and stuff.
That'd be great. That'd be good.
Because like he's not buddy with him. They didn't have those three movies together.
They didn't.
This was right after Avengers.
Right. Yeah.
Possibilities there. Some possibilities there. I'm just thinking about it. I'm getting a little excited.
No, I'm super stoked, man. But yeah, no, they did a great job.
This fall. Disney Plus.
Yeah. They did a great job, man.
Another damn
I
thing
love that.
I'm
I'm super stoked to see because according to Kevin Feige, this wasn't end of Phase 3. It's actually Spider-Man that's end of Phase 3.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be because that's probably going to be like the send-off for Tony.
Right.
Because he's probably dealing with a lot of those feelings.
Although...
By the way, can we talk about... Erica brought this up.
If that's going to be...
You think he's going to have a message for him?
No. No, I think they might.
Iron Spider? What do you think?
I'm thinking they might, if that's the end of Phase 3, they might tease Fantastic Four in that.
Oh, they could.
Because especially since that movie's now coming out after it filmed later on. It filmed literally during the acquisition, I would say, of Fox.
Yeah.
So they could utilize that to throw in just little hints.
Well, they're in France. I'm trying to think what you could do. Nothing off the top of my head.
Right.
But yeah, there's so many easy ways to do it.
No, for sure.
You've got, you could have like him watching something.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, they're watching this old show where like Johnny Storm was doing Daredevil stunts.
100%.
And like, now you're like, wait, what do you mean old show? Like, what the fuck?
Right.
And then they 100%. Could be like, they went to the negative zone and came back last week.
100%.
Like,
100%.
There's just ways to do it.
Yeah.
Because, well, here's what I'm thinking. This is probably going to be the send-off for Tony.
Right. But they did a send-off. They did.
The big thing, Erica brought this up, and I think it's very interesting of a concept. Half the people, let's say half exactly from that school, disappeared. Well, the other half finished school.
Because it's 5 years.
Because 5 years, they're out of high school. Even if he was a freshman, they're out of high school. So that's why when he...
God damn it, Marvel, you fucked up. How do you explain that? Why is he back in the school handshaking? In the trailer, he's handshaking his buddy.
Because he was missing.
Why, no.
But I guess we're presuming that so was Ned. But it looked like Ned missed him.
But why would they be in high school? They wouldn't be...
Well, he would, because he didn't age.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
But that's why they're still in school.
Right.
Although I don't understand why MJ's still in school then, because again, now you're saying that Peter and everyone in his friend circle...
50%, man.
They all disappeared.
50%. 50%.
Because, so here's the thing.
Hitman's daughter is old.
Dude! I like didn't even think about that until he knocked on the door and like they showed her silhouette, and I was like, fucking Stature, because she gets powers too.
That's dude. Yeah, no, it's great. Good job, Marvel.
They could do, and it would be like an easy way to build up like future movies and future characters.
Mm-hmm.
They could do a young Avengers movie.
I mean, they could 100%. I mean, listen, there's a lot of things they could do.
Even a show.
Yeah, there's a lot of things they could do. I'm excited to see what they do. I'm glad that we weren't 100% on everything, but we definitely could call quite a few.
We called a good chunk.
Yeah, we called a good chunk.
Although that whole like the Strange being like the one, and I'm like, right, but what's he supposed to do?
Well, maybe because he was hesitating.
Right.
So that...
Because my thought, as soon as he grabbed it, I was like, duh, it's his armor. He's just going to take the armor off of him.
Yeah.
But then when it stayed on him, and I was like, he took the stones.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So...
Especially because they paused that. That was kind of a bit of a telegraph. He's like monologuing. He's like, ha, 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 bitches. Wait, what? Like,
yeah.
Like, I'm like, when you monologue, that's you fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, if you have time to monologue, you already lost it.
No, it was a great movie, man. Great movie. They fucking... Oh, man. So
inevitable. And I
Dude.
am Iron Man.
Dude, when he said that, I was like, bring back the first Iron Man, ending of Iron Man. I am Iron Man. And then you connect that.
That was his last line.
That was his last line, I know. And then technically the hologram.
Right.
Yeah.
So good. Can we... Okay, so 2 things I want to talk about in the end. 3. There was the kid. There was the like extra kid because they panned through everyone at the wake.
And I was like, that's not Peter.
It's not Peter. Peter was at the front with
Right. I was like,
it was the kid from Iron Man 3. Because I looked it up and it's set because it's the same actor. He's now a teenager.
That's awesome.
It's been a while.
That's awesome.
So I was like, well, why is he there? That's kind of weird. Then I'm like, is he going to be Iron Kid?
But he will. Here's the thing. Because we never saw... Like, we don't know what Tony was doing during his personal life. We've only seen the action that the Avengers were doing.
Right.
So, like, during his personal time, he could have been like, I paid for this kid. This kid's a genius. I'm going to pay for his...
He also could have adopted him.
Anything.
Because 50% of the people disappeared. His parents could have been gone. Oh, damn. Because he definitely aged, so he was there.
Right.
Oh, man. There's possibilities there, right? There's possibilities.
Right.
So I want to talk about... There is the whole thing... Post-credits. It's not a scene.
No.
It's just a sound.
It's just sound.
Most people are saying that it's just an homage. It's
an homage to him building the first suit.
It's a hammer striking metal. It's an homage to him building the first suit. I kind of take it both ways. I think it's that, but I also think it's like there will be another Iron Man. There will be another... somebody else will carry that torch.
Maybe, but I mean, you can take it that way, but unless they said there will be more Iron Man, like they usually do.
Right. And then the last thing I want to talk about, because I got a little... And then the reason I think that is because during that little last holographic message, he's saying his goodbyes, and he says, this time travel shenanigans that we're about to pull, and they snap back to Pepper, and she gets this fucking smirk on her face like she knows something. And I was like, the fuck did he do?
It doesn't matter.
Because my thought, and I don't know that he would have had the time necessarily or what, my thought, there is a story from the 90s, 95-ish, when Tony went bad, died, was replaced by a alternate timeline younger Tony. And that's who's been Tony Stark since the 90s. So
I don't think they'll go that route. Once again, trying to keep it...
But I just feel like they could hire like a young actor to be a new Tony Stark.
I mean, they could, but what's the point?
Play like he's his cousin or something.
What's the point?
To have an Iron Man.
You could have an Iron Man without Tony Stark.
Right. I'm just saying. I think there's something.
They won't.
I mean, maybe not that, but I'm just saying. I think there's something. Maybe he like left the armor to the kid. I don't know. Like,
I think. I mean, yeah, he left. I'm sure he left the armor to the kid, but otherwise, you're reading too much into it.
Yeah, dude.
What's the point, dude?
Bro, as a storyteller, if you say something, and then the next thing like when you say something, and then I snap to someone, and they kind of like, that's something. That's not nothing.
Or maybe she just smirked because he was being funny. Because he said, well, what am I talking about? Everything will be fine. Maybe because he was still being Tony.
Could be.
He was Tony being Tony.
Could be.
Yeah, no, it's I think...
Listen, I don't know anything. I just have thoughts.
I understand, but there's no point because, one, there's no reason to introduce Tony Stark. You have so many other characters that you can play Iron Man or whatever you want to call them.
But, I mean, I think after... Realistically, if they do Secret Wars, we're talking another 5 to 10 years minimum.
Right.
Because you have to establish an X-Men, you have to establish a Doctor Doom who will then want to do the thing.
Right.
You could then have a movie set in the Fantastic Four universe and a movie set in the MCU where because this is how it happened in the comics, where like the Earths are about to collide.
Right.
And that's when Doom is like, I'm going to just
merge
everything and like keep everything alive so that we can find a way out of this. He gets his ultimate power, after which he's like, I had ultimate power, didn't really do it for me, so maybe I'm thinking the wrong way. And that's when he becomes a good guy. It's kind of weird. But that's like an easy way. But again, we're talking 5 to 10 years.
Right.
And when you bring everything back together, you have Tony Stark again. But it'll be a different character.
I mean, yeah, it's a good way to reset the universe, sure.
When you need to recast. That's because at some point... Right. Now, here's the thing. We've already talked about this multiple times. I'm 100% in favor of, like, continuing, like, generational stories. Yeah. Like, have someone take over as Captain America, have someone take over as Iron Man.
Right.
Like, other people can be these characters.
Right, but then at some point, even they're going to want to, like, those actors will want to retire.
So, and I would be okay with, like, whoever taking over as the next Cap.
I understand, but at some point, you'll run out of either making new characters in the sense of, like, Steve Rogers or Sam Wilson or whatever the next guy's named, or woman, and then them taking the mantle. At some point, you run out of making those. Yeah. So you have to bring back Steve Rogers and Tony Stark because you've run out of building characters, and it's not so, like, how do you retell the story? Well, you could reset a universe that's still technically the same universe by doing what you just said with them. So it could work, yeah. I don't know if they'll do it in 5 to 10 years. Who knows? Maybe, you know.
It's a lot of it's going to depend on how these movies go over, right?
Right.
In reality, a Black Captain America movie, who knows how that'll go? Right. It could go great.
Yeah.
I hope it goes great. I want it to fucking go great.
I hope it goes fucking amazing, man.
You also have the prospect of Black Panther movies going forward. Like, there's going to be a lot there. Yeah. There's a lot of content.
Listen, he's not dead anymore. Can he talk now?
Yeah, I hope he can talk now. He's not dead anymore.
Listen, man. I'm super stoked for his new movie that he's coming out with that cop movie that he's doing, where he's like he hunts cop killers. He's a cop that hunts cop killers. Yeah, it was. Did you not see it? Did you need to see the trailer beforehand?
No.
Oh yeah, it was on where I saw it. It was on there, and I saw it online too.
Now that I think about it, they didn't play trailers.
It's like 21 Bridges or something like that.
They didn't play trailers in front of ours.
That's weird.
They played like the kind of like bullshit concessions and all that garbage, but like
maybe they were running late.
They played like some stuff for like Stranger Things was on screen. But like
maybe they were
now that I think about it, yeah. Well, they were super tight. They had signs out that were like no post-credit scene.
Oh.
Yeah, so they were trying to like because they had a lot of showings.
A lot of showings, I know.
And it was busy.
And it's a 3-hour movie.
It was fucking busy.
And it's a 3-hour movie.
So yeah, they had a line when we were leaving. Me and the one last guy there, we were talking. Yeah. And as we step out, I was like, I'm gonna just wait because there's a line of people. 100%. I don't want to fucking say nothing.
No, yeah, I'm super stoked to see what they do in Spider-Man. I mean, what they do in Spider-Man, we know what they're gonna do in Spider-Man.
Well, what's funny is people are talking about like, Mysterio and Spider-Man team up. Like, Yeah.
Only
Till he finds out that Mysterio's the bad guy.
Yeah, until he finds out that Mysterio's creating the thing that he's fighting.
Yep. Yeah. I was like, I mean, I guess you could say they team up, but
Right.
like for like 40 minutes.
Yeah, for maybe 40 minutes out of maybe an hour and 50-minute movie.
Yeah,
So
I thought that was kind of fun. I was like, this is an article? I'm like, you didn't even just do any basic research on this?
Fucking stupid, man. No, articles are dumb. That's why that same fucking bullshit. Articles are stupid, and so are these people reporting on it. Because they just want you to click on their title.
Yeah.
Same thing when we started this conversation. Is Captain America going to be in movies? Yes, Captain America is going to continue to be in movies.
Yep.
What you should have asked is Steve Rogers, because that's what you mean. That's what you really mean. And no, Steve Rogers will not be. But yes, Captain America,
Right.
which is a hero entity. It's not a name of a person.
Right.
That's going to be on the foot. So yeah, no, these articles are dumb and they're just clickbaity, so you can click on them and so they could get your clicks. That's all it is, and it's dumb.
100%.
Yeah. Wow. So, but no, I'm excited one more time to watch it.
Dude, I wish I was working at Best Buy again for a month. Because
I know, so you could just
for me, when watching Infinity War back to back to back, like opened so many things up.
Well,
'Cause you're
bro, if you did what I do, where I buy DVDs, you could literally have it on replay while you're chilling down here. It would be like you're working at Best Buy. So,
I guess.
see?
I guess.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it, man.
Damn.
Yeah.
It was such a good movie.
So good.
Such
I'm
a good
super
movie.
stoked. Like,
Such a good payoff.
it is, man. No, I mean, listen, for being invested, and this is what I talk about when people, like, even for TV shows, when these studios just cancel shows, this is what I'm talking about. We're invested. As an audience, as human beings, we get invested in these stories, these things that help us get out of our real world.
Like, God forbid, there's a universe out there where, like, they didn't put out Infinity War or...
I know,
Endgame.
right? Yeah. Like...
They were just like, fuck it, we're canceling it.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
That would be, like, that would piss
10
me
years
off.
of fucking build-up for nothing?
Nothing.
Eat your
Dude,
dick.
I would be pissed. I would go to Marvel Studios ASAP. I'm like, no, you the fuck not.
No, we're gonna go ahead and do that.
I'm gonna release it. I don't give a shit if you are. I'm taking over this entire fucking thing, and this is happening. I took over your fucking money. That's it. Because that's not how this game goes. No, you. So this is that bullshit where these fucking companies that just cancel shit. It's like, oh, 2-3 million viewers per episode is not good enough. We're gonna.
And we already talked
it.
about how like arbitrary those numbers are.
They're so arbitrary. So it's bullshit. I honestly, like, I'm super happy to see a company that's able to fucking provide us with these stories that we invest in and actually give us some kind of an ending.
Right.
Like, that, essentially, this is an ending.
Yeah.
This could be just over with right here, and we got our ending. We don't need more.
Yeah.
You've ended the main stories. Like, we don't need more.
Right.
We could stop right here. So, but no, like, but then you have these other fucking companies that release this shit.
Because right now, what do they have on deck? They have Spider-Man, Eternals. So I think Celestials is going to be the next big thing. Because the Eternals are like the next.
But is
big
that
one.
confirmed? Because I haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah, they hired Angelina Jolie to play as Cersei,
Shit.
who I'm super excited about. That was like a perfect pick.
Dude, I love her as an actress.
Like
I think
she's really
and
good.
she's a good director. Granted, I haven't watched that movie, but from what I could see, just like the trailers, I loved how it looked. Like, so, yeah, I'm super stoked to hear that
I'm
she's
excited.
in the universe.
I'm excited. So I think those are the only two that are actually on deck.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be a Captain Marvel 2. I'm sure there's going to be Black Panther 2.
Yeah.
What else? Is that it?
Right.
I mean,
now.
another Spider-Man movie, of course.
Oh, right.
So Spider-Man 3.
But I'm talking about what's announced.
Yeah, just those three, really. Because they did say there's going to be a Black Panther 2, and they did say there's going to be a Captain Marvel 2.
So.
And Eternals, and then... Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what they do.
Yeah, it's going to be...
excited.
Because I think the slate is going to tell us a lot. I
Yeah,
think once they
100%.
say, like, this is coming out, this is coming out, this is coming out, that's going to be the next big thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be, like, point us in a direction.
100%.
'Cause-
Well, let me rephrase that. We actually know one other movie that's coming out. Guardians 3.
Yeah, Guardians 3.
Yeah.
So you have the Asgardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
I hope that's just what it's called.
Why shouldn't it?
Asgardians of the Galaxy, back together again. And I was like, again?
Okay. Well, that's because, remember, they were with him in...
Yeah. But it's so yeah. So you have Guardians. So Guardians, Captain Marvel, and Eternals all deal with kind of cosmic stuff. Eternals do reside on Earth, so that's going to be interesting. Right. Also, you have the opportunity to like have a bunch of people die in a movie and nothing happen because the Eternals, when you kill them, they just regenerate in a new body.
Listen. All I know is if we hear Marvel be like, okay, so everybody's been waiting for this. They have their, whatever their Disney
Plus
convention that they have.
D23.
Yeah, where they announce all the stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, guys, I know you've been waiting for it. Infinity War is done. You want to know the new slate? And all of a sudden we see Fantastic Four, and I'll be like, fuck yes! It's going to be done right.
That'd be bold. That'd be bold, but at the same time...
But it's going to be,
because here's what you can do with that. What you can do is say, because of all this stuff, because of, like, the majority of Earth being like, oh, shit from space is real.
Yeah.
Then you have a Reed Richards being like, yo, we could go.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go. So that's kind of what I'm thinking.
100%.
That's kind of the real easy way to just be like, they are here, but they're just starting.
I'm super excited.
Although mutants are a little bit different. Mutants are a little bit more involved.
They're technically not mutants in this universe.
Well, they're not. Technically, they aren't mutants in the comics either. You're talking about Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch?
Well, I'm talking about just in general. They never acknowledged mutants.
Well, they couldn't before.
Right.
I mean, right, but I'm saying they don't have any characters that were mutants. They were all the characters they used were Inhumans.
All of them?
Yeah.
Even was Scarlet Witch?
Yep. As of 2015.
Okay, regardless.
Which was around the time when they came out.
But Scarlet Witch didn't come out in 2015.
No. Right, but I mean, like, it was...
But they did that because they didn't know they were going to get the rights ever back. So they were like, well, fuck you, Fox. We're going to change these characters in the comic. That's why they got...
Well, no. Because they had already... Because 2014 is when Ultron came out.
Yeah.
This happened in 2015. Like, explicitly in 2015.
I mean...
So, like, no. They had already made a deal with Fox about sharing Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
Well, I understand that, but like a lot of, come on, man, they got rid of the fucking Fantastic Four comics because they didn't want to make any more stories.
Yeah, but there's also the fact that they wasn't selling well. Like,
I mean, that's fine, but like to fully get rid of that team,
they brought it back though.
Yeah, of course they did. So
you're a bit cynical, sir.
No, it's not as cynical.
But so besides them, who they already had to deal with. Everything else was Inhumans. Quake is an Inhuman in comics.
I mean, that's fine.
Like, there was no mutant characters on the Avengers, like anything.
That's fine, but there were. I don't give a shit if they reset the universe. There used to be X-Men on the fucking Avengers in the comics.
Right, but I mean, like, but I'm saying in the movies, they haven't shown them.
Well, of course they haven't.
Right. So my point is, there's not really a way to introduce mutants in the... Like, you can introduce the Fantastic Four without a problem. Like, those are just people.
Right.
They get powers through science.
Right.
The X-Men are a bit more difficult. The X-Men are a bit more challenging because of the fact that you can't just say, like, oh, they've been there, we just haven't talked about it.
Right. That's the problem.
So that's why I think if they kind of go down the DC route of the Fantastic Four, or maybe just the X-Men universe is separate, and then they could have a cosmic event in the X-Men universe that throws them into the R's or whatever. Right. There's possibilities. I mean, like, there's enough cosmic characters across the Marvel properties, you could slap something together pretty easily.
Yeah. No, we're good. That's it.
That's gonna be it.
That's it.
That's gonna be it. a lot of talk. Pretty straightforward. We loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the score? We didn't score it.
I don't know. I mean, 10 out of 10.
You thinking 10?
Why the fuck not?
It was so emotional.
What's everything, dude?
So let's be real. This was one movie across two. In totality.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10? I have to agree.
Xfinity War and
You said Xfinity War.
Infinity War.
Infinity War and Endgame.
And Endgame as one total movie, which it is. I don't give a shit what
Right.
they try to do. It's 10 out of 10, man.
Solid 10 out of 10. I have to agree.
It's a perfect
It
two-parter.
pays off. It pays off everything.
Everything.
It deals with everything. There are no like dangling. I mean, like besides like the plot threads they set up, there's nothing dangling.
10 out of 10, man.
Solid, super solid.
I mean, here's the thing. Can I argue something? Sure.
You could nitpick, but
I'm not. No, as movies, as how many movies I watched throughout my lifetime, and what this accomplished from the beginning, from 2008 all the way till now, for what they did in these two movies to finish off all that. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
I know perfection's impossible, but well, this is damn near. This is it. This is damn near.
This is about as good.
Like if perfection is impossible, this is what impossible looks like.
This is 9.975.
Right, exactly. And at that point, I'm just gonna round out to 10.
You're just gonna round it out.
I'm just gonna round it out.
So that's gonna be it for this one. Make sure you check out caffeine.tv/T3G Media every week. We did have a pause last week due to some family situations, but we are back weekly, either Monday or Tuesday. It notifies on Twitter as soon as we go live. Yeah. So make sure you follow us on Twitter, T3G Media, Instagram, T3G Media, and of course, youtube.com/T3G Media, shockingly. And if you want to listen to this, check out Stitcher. We're on.
Is this /T3G Media or is it /T3G Tech?
It's T3G Media.
Is it?
We fixed it.
Nice. Awesome.
We're on Stitcher, we're on TuneIn, we're on iTunes, Google Podcasts. We're on everything that you could possibly need to listen to us. And then if you're listening to us, YouTube, T3G Tangents.
Yes.
So you can see the shenanigans in person.
And you can leave some comments on your thoughts and stuff like that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We will see you in the next one.